Yes. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon for everybody. Nice to meet you in our new webinar with a very distinguished professor from Pakistan whose name is Professor Faisal Fayyaz. Welcome, Professor Faisal Fayyaz. Welcome another time. And we are very happy and so excited to join you another time in this association. Of course, I am Shawqiya Hawawra, the president of the Arab English Teachers Association from Palestine, and I always weekly I introduce and invite very distinguished academics, teachers, professors from all over the world to give us and to shed light more and more on the most helpful strategies in teaching. Let's first introduce our guest speaker, whose name is Faisal Fayyaz. He is an editorial board member of Asia Pacific Journal of Scientific Education and Research. He is an ambassador of World Voice of International and Youth Society of World, and also he's an education ambassador and international organization for educational researchers. Also, he is an international gymnast, coach, sports administrator, computer and educational trainer and ambassador. He organized the first international gymnastics conference in the world. Welcome another time, our guest speaker, and also I welcome my attendees and my participants from all over the world. This webinar will be about blended learning. But what is blended learning? It is the combination of face-to-face, or it is an approach to learning that combines face-to-face and online learning experiences. Ideally, each online and offline will complement the other by using its particular strength. But what more about this issue? Dr. And Professor Faisal Fayyaz will shed more light on this important topic. Thank you, and let's start with Professor Faisal. Yes, now the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Kindly allow me to share my screen. Right,
Yes, you are presenter, you can share it.
right, thank you.
Welcome. Yes, you enter with two devices.
Yeah, so
Yes,
kindly,
yes, yes. Now you are also presenter on the other one, on the other
okay,
account.
thank you.
Yes, welcome. Yes, welcome all another time. Miss Awatif says to you, hi, Dr. Faisal. We met yesterday in the online English Teacher Summit in Brazil. Good job. Thank you.
Ma'am, kindly allow me. I'm unable to share my screen. Reason the button is off.
No, you can share it. You can. You are a presenter now with the two accounts. Okay? You can share it.
Uh, just so I'm closing this one.
Yes.
Okay, so the remaining this background login you may give the access.
Yes. Yes, now you are also presenter.
Yeah, now I'm able to share my screen.
Yes, great.
Thank you.
Yes, now it is visible.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to screen. I'm just checking my setting. So then I will start.
Thank you.
Give me a minute. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Faisal, and I'm from Pakistan. Today, the topic of my presentation is importance of blended learning. So, as you know very well, that this topic is very important, and we basically work on it to enhance the potential of our young learners. This one is a new strategy, new way, new, you can say, framework through that we can more knowledge and expertise to our young generation. So this one is a simple picture as you are looking that someone is basically working on laptop, someone is noting, someone is doing multiple tasks and the different things in the mind that's going on. And in this way, the person is able to perform some actions and able to complete tasks as well. It's not a single thing. You have to basically use your multi-sensory approach to complete your tasks. So this one is my introduction. You access on Skype, email ID, and my Facebook profile is here. So this one is blended learning. So the blended learning
Please,
is combined.
doctor, can you fix your voice, please? It is not so clear.
Okay, I'm changing my mic. Just
Yes.
now I hope my voice is clear.
Yes, yes, it is clearer.
Okay, so my voice is very right clear.
No, no, there is miss. There is miss. You can talk without the mic. There is noise.
Now,
There is noise still. Yes, now it is good.
good. Okay, fine. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, now I hope that voice is clear.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
welcome.
Okay, the blended learning. What is blended learning? It's combining multiple learning components and learning events to create a meaningful environment. So when we talk about blended learning, it means we are providing different interfaces, different things to our young generation. They blend different things, and in this way, they are able to create something new, which is rational and the purpose to blend different things, different learning strategy and teaching strategies, only this thing, so that students are able to produce something better.
Yes.
So the definition of
No,
blended learning.
there is miss. Doctor, there is mess from the mics. You can talk without your mics. Your voice is so clearer.
Okay. Now I hope that everything is clear now.
No, no, there is still mess. There is still the mess. Noisy, noisy sound. It is noisy sound. Yes, now it is better. Don't use it, please. Don't use it because it causes mess and noise.
Okay, now I hope that thing is clear.
Yes, yes, yes. So excellent. Thank you.
So this is the definition of blended learning. It's an approach to learning that combines face-to-face and online learning experiences. Ideally, each online and offline will complement the other by using its particular strengths. So it means that whatever you are doing to learn, to take your class, to basically provide some material, and while thinking something, while collaborating to someone, while integrating some application, and this way you are able to produce something. So it's all called in blended learning. So blended learning is a new thing, and during COVID-19, we know very well that the importance of blended learning becomes so much common. Reason each and everyone is able to take classes and give lecture online. So in this way, some students face different kinds of problem as well. Reason they were not habitual, but gradually they learn something, and after that, while using rational applications and pedagogical approaches were used, due to which students are able to grasp some knowledge, and in this way they enhance some learning. Again, this one is first time in the history of the world that teachers and students through digital technologies they communicate to each other, they are able to share their resources, they are able to communicate to everyone, and in this way they proceed everything. Why blended learning? Increase flexibility in learning. We know very well that everyone want to improve. Mean if you are a student, so you want to basically up your grade, and you want to enhance your knowledge and skills as well. And if you are a teacher, so again you want some better grading, better approach, better learning outcome, and you want that your students become better, you can say problem solver for 21st century skills as well. So this is not the era where we use the obsolete method or formal teaching method we use, and students become only choose the one thing. This is a multi-dimensional approach, and this is a multi-dimensional era where we have to focus on multi-dimensional things. Things are not simple. Everything have become complex and having a lot of subtypes and sub framework as well, due to which reason we have to give the awareness and concept to our young learners that if you want to become a good you can say survivor in the world, so there is a need to learn different things, and in this way you can achieve your targets and you can complete your tasks as well. So many colleges and universities are now investing in more e-learning and blended learning. Reason is this: everyone knows the importance of blended learning. Through blended learning, we can provide something better to our students, our learners as well. So student motivation is a major factor for e-learning and blended learning success. Student success in this environment is heavily related to course, content, layout, accessibility, and different blended learning strategies. So it means there is a need of flexibility. There is a need to use and increase the level of flexibility to learn new things, new concepts, new methodologies, new strategies, new framework. So this one is the four C's in front of you. You are looking critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. So these four C's are basically very important in 21st century skills era. Reason is this, that these four C's basically give you the tool and awareness, and you can say provide the potential to compete the challenges of 21st century skills. So critical thinking, it means that you are critically analyze this thing, that how, what are the pros and cons of this thing, and what are the basically advantages, features, disadvantages of this application and this tool, this machine, or this concept or philosophy as well. When we talk about the collaboration, so collaboration is very simple thing. It's first time in the history that through digital technologies we are able to communicate to everyone. Such kind of example never ever happened in the history of the world. But this is the first time that we are able to communicate while I'm residing in Pakistan, in Lahore, and the organizing committee belongs from Palestine. So we are communicating to all the attendees of the world. Even some of my friends from Brazil are also here, and from other continents and other regions and countries, they are also attending this event through this digital technology. So remember this thing, this is also due to blended learning. We are hearing, we are sharing, we are listening to each other. So share to care each other. In this way, we are giving confidence and support to each other. So remember this thing, motivation is the key factor. So motivation is this: when I do something, then you encourage me, and when you do something, then obviously we are able to encourage to everyone. So now world has become global village. Everyone is trying to access different kinds of basically features, application to roll out different information which was not possible in the history of the world. So after 1980, after the computer revolution, after the IT revolution, digital era, and this artificial intelligence era, these are all basically things on which we have to basically compete. And without blended learning and without forces which are collaborating and the parameters of blended learning forces, through that we can do something better for our future generation as well. So why flexibility in learning? With the increasing use of a variety of approaches for learning in the information age, learner preferences are changing from wanting to be taught mostly in lectures or direct training sessions to wanting increased flexibility. So here is the factor of diversion. If we have diversified team, diversified members of in a team, then obviously we can do something better and we can create something rational outcome as compared to homogeneous team members. So diversity, again, it's very important. And blended learning, through that we are using different things, and in this way we compile different kinds of information and data. In this way we are able to produce a complete report. So in earlier or in the past civilization, in the past, and you observe the history, so it's very simple that there is only one way to communicate, one way to roll out, that are books and some of the notes or something like. But now we are looking at, we have different variety of tools are available: mobile application, Google, Yahoo, as well as we have different blogs as well. So through that we are trying to access even Facebook, Instagram, and we are able to communicate or share our problem with our friends. We encourage, we motivate to our friends as well, relatives as well. And these are all the parts of your blended learning. When we comment, when we appreciate to someone, so obviously there is a linkage between you and the other one, and it's a positive change, positive collaboration between you and the other ones. And this is again the part of humanity, that we meet and greet to each other in a right way, in a better way. Each and every human in the world is equal. And this is all the main thing, that we are we are preparing our young learners for future challenges. But for future challenges, there is a need to increase their frequency level for learning. Reason, now the things have been changed. Our children's now more smarter than us as well. Reason is this: they are using different apps, different kinds of application while using, watching, and communicating. They are basically learn something, and in this way they are able to process and execute their processes fastly as compared to us. Why flexibility in learning? So if we just look at the past, so what happened? Only your classroom, your school, your books, and your room, these are the places where you can basically learn something. But nowadays we are looking at everyone while traveling in buses, while traveling on plane and in rail train, everyone basically reading some books, swallowing out information on mobile while interacting to someone, communicating to someone. They are always ready to basically complete their basically assignment. They share their problems, and in this way they receive some outcomes as well, and they try to basically explore the solution of their problems while discussing to every person of the world, whatever they are in the range of that specific person. So what they learn, when they learn, where they learn, and how they learn. So these are very important things. What they learn. So it's formal that what is the thing, what it means, and what are the basically particular this theme or object or machine or a system, whatever. When they learn, it means there is no time constraint. Now, due to blended learning, you can do anything. Here, I want to give one example here. We have basically two types of our young learners, extrovert and introvert. When we talk about the extrovert are those people who can communicate and they are like to be on front end everywhere in the world. They like to speak and they are very bold like peoples. But on the other hand, when we talk about the introvert people, they are basically having shyness. They are not able to speak on stage. They are not very friendly, but they have something due to which reason they do not like to speak frequently on stage or to anyone or openly. They are not able to share their problems or their insights as well. But due to this technology, I can say this thing that introvert people getting more advantages and benefit as compared to the extrovert people. Reason is this that introvert people they keep themselves engaged in different learning activities through this blended learning while working on PC, rolling out mobile while using mobile, while discussing to someone. So in this way, they are able to explore different things. And now we can see that due to digital technologies, introvert people basically they become nowadays they are more successful people as compared to the other ones. Extrovert people, they are able to share and basically they can communicate to anyone, but maybe their talks or insight are not so much rational. But introvert people having some background, you can say having some historical information, they're basically time consuming efforts while on a simple topic. Due to that reason, they have become inventor and they are innovators nowadays in this current era as well. Where they learn again, when now 24 hours are available for
Sorry
you,
for
you can learn
interruption.
anything anytime.
Yes, sorry
Where
for
they learn.
interruption. Sorry, can you hear me? Yes. There is an attendee who's raising her hand. If there is any question, can she ask you now? Miss Palestine. Miss Palestine, unmute yourself and ask Dr. Fayyaz.
Okay, any attendee want to ask something?
Yes, it seems that she raised her hand by mistake. She disappeared. Okay,
Okay,
you can ask them, Dr. Faisal, in order to make interaction between you and them, in order to check if they are following you or not, please.
okay, I will.
Yes, thank you.
So how they learn? Again, that thing is that what the methodology, framework, the path, strategy you choose to learn something. So what is blended learning and examples? So you are looking here, there is a juicer, blender is here, and different things are going to blend in it, and after that a single product which is outcome of that thing, which will be the your rational outcome. So nowadays no one is having time. We have a shortage of time. Everyone is busy to complete different tasks in the life. So it means it provides individuals with the opportunity to enjoy the best of both worlds, mean virtual and physical as well. For example, a student might attend classes in a real world classroom setting and then uh, supplement the lesson plan by completing online multimedia coursework. So, due to some disease, due to some accidental problem, the student is unable to manage his classes and he was absent. But through that blended learning, he is able to basically revise his syllabus and coursework as well. So here I'm going to stop as the basically organizer requested me to ask some questions. So everyone having any question you may ask openly.
Yes,
Yes,
thank
may I
you.
continue, or if anyone want to ask, so kindly ask,
Yes.
please open your mic.
Yes, Miss Zuhrab says, mindful, thank you. Miss Haneen says, learning out of schools and universities. Sadia, informative session. You can unmute yourself and comment, ask if you want. Yes, Mr. Ahmed says, using all available tools to learn, simply as I used to tell or identify blended learning.
Very right.
Mr. Yes, Mr. Ahmed, what do you want to say to Dr. Faisal? If there is anything, or Miss Haneen, you can unmute yourself and then talk. Miss Haneen Saleh, yes, Sadia says blended learning is the need of time.
Obviously, it is a need of time. Thanks for the
Yes.
lecture. Okay, I'm
Yes.
continuing.
So you
Thank.
can go on,
Okay.
Doctor. Thank you.
So after this, can we provide the kind of learning flexibility that learner wants? So obviously, sure, we can, but it depends on how much flexibility you want to give. New development in learning science and technology provide opportunities to develop learning environment that suit students' needs and interests by offering them the choice of increased flexibility. So flexibility in blended learning means that you have open choice. You can choose any tool, you can choose any application, you can use anyway. There is no restriction, but it depends on you that what kind of combination you choose, and according to that, what kind of learning outcome you receive. So this is the most important thing. Each and everything is in the hand of learner. There is only you have to basically select or choose some options that you want to choose to learn something new, to revise, to cover your syllabus, or something like to complete your process, to complete your assignment as well. So this one is the diagram. It's in front of you. You are looking here: face to face training, virtual classroom, webinars, links, simulations, assessment, one to one coaching. So these are different kinds of, you can say, parts and types of blended learning. But again, if you basically mix them all and you use them gradually and rationally, if you use them, then obviously you will get some more rational outcome as well. Reason is this: each and every method having its own pros and cons. Virtual classroom, face-to-face training, webinar, obviously it gives something to our young learners. And again, the main thing is in you people engage someone to provide something new, and in this way the person or the learner become more rational as compared to the earlier. Assessment, one-on-one coaching, through quizzes, online quizzes, we can assess that where the person or the student stand and what kind of learning or knowledge the learner having, so we can assess this thing as well. So this one is again a diagram you are looking here, that classroom learning and online learning. So it's a mixture of both of these things, but again, there are more things. But if you mix them, classroom and online learning, so obviously you will get a star grade. So it means it's a success path for you. If you provide this path to your young learner, then obviously they will become more good and more rational as well. And again, in the future we will face uncertain challenges, and you can say the complex challenges as well, we do not know. But humans always look forward, and they always basically having positive attitude while working on this thing so that they could overcome their problem and their barriers and get the success through different resources. How do we provide learning flexibility that learners want? So no one single learning delivery method is capable of supporting the kind of flexibility that learners need. Therefore, a mix of traditional and new learning approaches and technologies should be appropriately utilized for flexible learning. So again, there is a need to use different methods. So it's become a blended learning for your student. But remember this thing, if you use any obsolete method and a formal method, then students become bored. Reason is this, change is the basically a main requirement of any human. If we do not change anything, if we basically take care of a single teaching method, then obviously our learner become bored and their outcome and their interest become decline as well. So it's better for everyone, it's better for every teacher and learner as well, that they engage themselves and their learners in different kinds of activities, in different learning and blended learning methods as well, while following as well. Here I want to tell this thing more, that change is the main requirement. We are humans and we have inquisitive nature. So if we follow a single path or a single activity, we are not alike animal that just like horse and camels and cows are doing, that they're just passing the time. So the most important thing, we are supernatural defined by Allah, and we have some senses due to which reason we know how to basically conquer our tasks, how to complete our tasks, how to face the challenges. So this is the main thing due to which reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that humans are basically more better than other species. And humans are proving this thing as well. Reason is this, we humans basically learn through our environment, and whatever the environment having some problem, according to that we define some solutions as well and find out different tools and methods and techniques. If we see COVID-19 when there was in the world, so everyone basically having struck, and this is the basically human who find out the way that through digital technologies we can communicate, and in this way different apps become common: Google Meet, Zoom applications, WebEx, and there are many others as well. So it means that blended learning, it's online and offline, and with different method we can give something new to our young learners and we can engage as well. So blending various learning strategies and approaches for flexibility. So flexibility, it means that if you provide them flexibility, we give you, if you provide them different variety, then obviously their outcome will be so good. So this one is video I'm going to play, so kindly watch it.
Knowledge base, find the possibility.
Please mute one device, doctor. Please mute one device because you are using two devices, so there is an echo. So please mute one of them. Okay. Thank you. There is no sound. There is no sound.
Okay, there's a problem. My voice is clear now.
Just the pictures with no sound.
Now my sound is clear.
Your sound is clear. Yes.
Okay, so these are the components of blended learning. Synchronous live classroom format, synchronous live online format, and asynchronous not live self-paced format. So these are the three major components of blended learning. As you are looking, this one is formal teaching method where basically teacher and students in classroom and they are
Sorry, doctor.
teacher is delivering lecture and the students are taking their lessons, or in this way they are learning something. So this one is example of synchronous classroom format. Second one, synchronous live online format, where we have a projector and we or the whole class is attending this session while watching projector video. So in this way they are basically taking their classes. Asynchronous not live self-paced format, so it means individual learning where you are able to do
Dr.
your tasks and
Faisal,
your
can you
things
hear
by
me?
yourself.
Dr. Faisal, can you hear me? Yes, there is echo. Please mute one device and use one device. Just only one. Yes. Thank you.
Now it's clear.
Yes. Thank you.
Please repeat, Dr. Faisal.
Yes. Can you repeat the last point because it wasn't clear?
This one.
Yes. Thank you.
So components of blended learning: synchronous live classroom format, synchronous live online format, and asynchronous not live self-paced format. So these are three different components in blended learning. So in synchronous live classroom is this, which is formal teaching method. It is education 1.0 framework model, where students and teacher in a class on a single place and they are face to face, they are basically collaborating and shared their thinking and insights as well. Teacher is delivering the lecture and students are taking their classes. My voice is clear now.
Yes, it is clear.
Okay.
But there is a
And
question here from Miss Palestine. It seems that she doesn't attend that session from the beginning. She asks, what do you mean by blended learning? I have some trouble. You mentioned it, you
so
explained it, but it seems that she wasn't with us from the beginning.
okay, what do you mean by blended learning? I have some trouble. So blended learning, it means that different ways, being live, online, and you provide some different methods to your students so that they are able to complete your task. Mean you are physically face to face, you are taking classes, and after that you are also taking some basically online classes, and in this way students are able to learn something. So these are all basically blended learning where we mix all the learning tools and technologies and the strategies. So these are basically three major components that we are discussing here. That's synchronous, asynchronous, and synchronous online format. So blended learning, I have shared one screen in which I have described this thing that it's a mixture of all things. So you are looking here, these are different activities of blended learning, face-to-face, virtual classroom, webinars, links, simulation, assessment, one-on-one coaching. So these are all the basically mergence of all the activities. So in this way, you can give something better and rational outcome to your young learners. So this is the answers. So I'm going to forward now. Components of blended learning. Let's review what choices we have under asynchronous and asynchronous format. So it's very simple that whatever the method we use, it may be synchronous or it can be asynchronous, but the purpose is only learning. So this one is the example of blended learning. You are looking here that project based learning, face to face, connected learning, online learning, different statistical analysis are here, and global connection, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. So these are all the basically things and the activities that you are doing to complete your assignment, your task. So humans, whatever they observe, they basically observe the basically environment, and according to that they learn something. So if we just look at this thing, that if a person living in Arab, so their basically inside experiences and knowledge will be vary from Indian subcontinent peoples as well. If Africans peoples are there in Africa, so their basically knowledge, expertise, tools, and their basically you can say inside will be vary from region to region. So same like if we use all the tools and the things to provide a solution to our young learners to make a rational problem solver for future challenges. So it's only due to blended learning reason it's a multi-dimensional era where we cannot focus and we cannot be successful while working on a single path, single strategy, or a formal method. There is a need to approach different methods so that your multi-sensory simulation could be enabled, and you in this way you will provide some better outcome to you young learners. So again, components of blended learning, here I'm just discussing for the easiness of all that synchronous physical face-to-face component not limited to face-to-face coaching, mentoring, classroom workshop, conferences, meeting, lab. So whatever the activity, even science exhibition, even you are going to watch a movie, if you are basically having any excursion trip, if you have any educational trip, so it's all related to learn something. So workshop, conferences, these are all the basically times, but these are not only, there are many others as well. But synchronous mean where physical face to face teacher and learners both are on a single place. Okay. When we talk about synchronous electronic component, not limited to, so these are the things: internet conferencing, audio conferencing, live video via satellite or video conferencing, virtual online classroom, instant messaging. So these are some synchronous electronic where a teacher and student are directly communicating to each other, or all the learners on a single place, and teacher is delivering the lecture on the basically screen, in the whole class collectively attending that session. So this one is synchronous
Yes.
electronic component, but it can be single one-to-one as well as in a collective format
Yes.
as well.
There is a question, sorry for interruption, but Mr. Ahmed says and asks in the chat box, how can we blend flipped classroom with blended learning?
So simple method is this question. Question is, how can we blend flipped classroom with blended learning? So very simple. If you basically shuffle your schedule and activities and arrange a different kinds of timetable, mean in weekly format or on daily three basis or on a 3 day format, so you can flip your classroom activities. Even you can change your learners as well, and you can basically collaborate other learners with your young learners as well, and in this way they can basically learn something new. You can change the classes, you can change the teacher as well, and you provide them some other insight of your friend and expert who basically having the command. So in this way, students having diversified intakes in their mind and the knowledge they will receive. And obviously, you're providing insights, your basically concept, whatever you have provided, and the other one also, whatever he has been provided to the young learners. So when student compare, so in this way, maybe both teachers' method will be different, but the learners will intake in this way that such kind of things, and this is the final outcome or the focus point of this topic. So flipped classroom and blended learning, it's again the mixture of different things. When you just exchange different things, classes, students, teachers, so in this way you can basically get the benefit of rational outcome of this uh, blended learning.
Yes, thank you for answering here. So blended learning is very important, and flip the classroom, you can use it while using blended learning in order to enrich the topic that you are or that you intend to introduce, for example, next day. It is very helpful, very important, and very useful for our educators. Thank you, Dr. Faisal. Go on.
Okay, I'm continuing. So asynchronous online self-paced learning content, email discussion. So this is your personal individual basically learning where you are basically doing your work by yourself. So if we see the difference between an expert or a simple expert, so you have some diversion. So when we talk about email discussion forums, so these are all basically this thing where we are sharing. I'm audible? I'm audible?
Yes, yes, yes. Now you
Okay.
are audible.
Oh, sorry, there is some internet problem that I'm facing, but I'm struggling. So email,
Yes.
EPSS, web content based instructions, books, articles, CD-ROM, audio, video. So these are all basically different things through that we can enhance our individual learner potential as well. If we give the assignment, so assignment will be at individual level as well as you can assign group work as well. But individual, if you provide the assignment to your young learners, so obviously they will basically absorb something. They will resolve their problem while searching, exploring, while discussing the solution of different things. Then obviously they will create a rational outcome. So it's simple means learning by doing. You are practicing, you are trying to explore different things by yourself at individual level. Your young learner will struggle. So in this way, they are able to complete their assignment and their tasks as well. So components of blended learning within the scope of today's presentation, let's review some advantages and disadvantages of few synchronous and asynchronous components of blended learning. So I'm going to discuss the pros and cons of some blended learning. So if you see the advantages of classroom, so you can motivate, you can responsiveness, experiences, team building, you can provide basically these advantages you can gain or a teacher can gain through in while working on in classroom. While on the other hand, you would talk about the disadvantages of classroom, so instructors, scheduling, audience, travel, physical. So it's not basically flexible. It's a rigid framework, rigid schedule that at this time you have to attend this class. Maybe you will not be happy and you will not be good mentally or physically. You are not ready to learn. Reason you having some problem. So in this way, in a scheduled activities, maybe our learner can face such kind of problems that the learner will not happy while working on a schedule. He may be so much flexible that he basically follow his own schedule, and while doing this thing, so he has to spend more time on his asynchronous activities while improving his level or concepts as well. Now we are discussing advantages of self-paced online. So learn anytime, anywhere. You are free. You are do to do anything anytime, cost efficient, learner control, mean each and everything is in the hand of learner. Learner can read, can study at 11 p.m., 4 p.m., 3 p.m., anytime. Whenever his mood will be good, he is able to explore or surf the internet. So in this way, he can increase his level as well. On the other hand, disadvantages of self-paced online, which is asynchronous. So obviously you can see the bandwidth, interaction, development, post, dropouts. So these are different points. We are facing still bandwidth problem due to some basically environmental problems, being floods are in here in Pakistan nowadays. So obviously due to this reason we are facing electricity issues and not a basically best speed of internet nowadays in Pakistan. Interaction development, this is not a basically physical interaction, this is a virtual interaction, through that we are communicating to each other. So development, I'm providing the insights and the someone are basically concentrating, someone are listening while some other maybe not giving importance to this lecture, and they are just while spending time or basically listening here. Course dropouts. So these are some of the disadvantages that basically determine the basically self-paced online. Advantages of CD-ROM, more engaging, no internet connection. Disadvantages of CD-ROM content, peer-to-peer development. So if you have any CD in your lecture, so you can watch anytime. There is no need of internet. You just put your CD in your CD-ROM, and in this way you can watch your lecture, you can study your material, and you can prepare yourself for exam as well. On the other hand, if we talk about the CD-ROM, the disadvantages are this, that peer-to-peer mean whatever the data is available in the CD and content is available, you have to focus only that thing. You cannot ask a thing which is not clear to you. So it means again there is a need of teacher. There is a need of teacher suggestion, or if you want a point is not clear and you are stuck here, so there is need of a guidance or the material or some exploration which you cannot do in CD-ROM case. Advantages of video conferencing: savings, participation, visual. So at in video conferencing, we are basically collectively we engage our student in a classroom, and on projector we provide the videos. So in this way, it saves the time, it saves basically the resources as well. All the students and learner on a single place, all the students participation is there. Visual mean you are looking graphs, videos, sounds, and in this way students basically become more engaged in such kind of activities and try to learn new things. On the other hand, when we talk about the disadvantages of video conferencing, so quality, technical support, it's very clear, and we know very well that quality, if material quality is not refined, not good, not up to the mark. For example, if we talk about the blended learning topic, so if the content is obsolete, mean if I have the data of 2000 or before that 2000, so maybe at a time blended learning was not so much smart. So there is a need of rational, refined, updated content which is required. And again, technical support will be needed. Components of blended learning, we have a sense of capabilities of some of the components of blended learning. Next, let's see how we can blend. So 5 ways to implement blended learning. Face-to-face driver, you are looking here. The trainer drives the instruction and argument augments with digital tools. So in this way, you can basically giving something to your learners, and in this way they can do different kinds of things. Employees cycle through our schedule of independent online study and face-to-face classroom time. So rotation, it means that you can engage different people and any learner can do different things at a different times. So you can rotate and you can engage different in a different way. Flex, most of the curriculum is delivered digitally and trainers are uh, available for support. So everyone is here to help you. If you have any problem, just collaborate with me, collaborate with Mr. Dr. Shakia and other one, and find any expert in the world. You can get the suggestion. You can explore the internet. You can surf internet, and in this way you can find the problem solver who can give you some suggestion, and in this way you can complete your task. Then labs, all curriculum is delivered digitally, but in a consistent, controlled physical location. Mean lab having all the technical resources, digital tools, and all the things are set for you. So whenever there is a need to learn and work on digital tools or in a synchronous method, if you want to learn something, you want to surf on internet, so labs are ready and you just visit there, and in this way you can spend time and you can explore your solutions as well. Online driver employs complete on entire course purely through an online platform. So nowadays online learning is very famous nowadays. For example, if I do not have time, I'm doing a job as well as, and I'm continuing my study as well. So nowadays we have a common example. Our driver is reading in the car in a taxi, and in this way he's also doing his job, and in this way he's trying to complete his studies as well. So it's all basically type of blended learning, and 5 ways these are I have described here. So dimension of the blend, if we see a blended learning program may combine one or more of the following dimension. So it can be offline online learning, self-paced and live collaborative learning, structured and unstructured learning, blended custom content with off-the-shelf content, blended learning practice and performance support. So these are the basically dimension that you have to follow. Offline, online, self-paced, live, collaborative, structured, unstructured, custom content, and again practice and performance sport mean you are totally free to do anything but need to work on the problem to find the solution while working on internet, while discussing with your friend, while discussing your matter with your with any expert of the world, with your parents and relatives, mean you are totally free to do anything, but the need is this, that learning outcome should be there. So a framework for creating the right blend. So this is the example, it's in front of you. The framework serves as guide and tool that enables designers to ask the right questions and organize their thinking processes when planning a blended program. So this diagram, it's in front of you that all the things are here: pedagogical, ethical, moral, management, technical. So all things are there, and inside there is a blended learning, and you are using different things to learn new things and need try to complete your task or assignment as well. So this one is framework. It's in front of you, education 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. So it's the example of this thing. Nowadays, if we talk about the blended learning, so blended learning totally focused and dependent on innovating, producing education, where heutagogy, pedagogy, and cybergogy example is in front of you, where you basically learn as well as teacher is delivering lecture as well as student is also delivering lecture, and both are communicate and share their insights and share their problems with each other, and everyone having equal right to do anything, but they basically only want to learn and enhance their potential. They want some rational outcome, they want some innovation, they want some inventions as well. So it's all due to, and this one is creation era. We know very well that everyone is free to innovate anything at any time. This one is a graphical representation. Again, you are looking education 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. So all the things are here. Now concept has been changed, so I have already discussed, but I'm just explaining the left side, it's the formal method, and the right side, it's all about blended learning and the new things. Now we have to work on these things: multi-sensory stimulation, multi-path progression, multimedia, collaborative work, information exchange. We are communicate to everyone. Again, Bloom's taxonomy is in front of you. Higher you go up the triangle, the higher your level of thinking. So it all basically gives this thing that you are able to create a new thing. You can create anything, you can provide any solution, and in this way you can create some better outcome for the civilization, for the humanity as well. So everyone have the freedom to do anything and innovate anything nowadays. So this one is octagonal framework. So you can see here the institutional and pedagogical. So these are the basically octagonal framework of blended learning. You are looking here: institutional, pedagogical, technological, interface design, evaluation, management, resource support, and ethical. So firstly is here administrative affairs, academic affairs, student affairs, all are come in the category of institutional. So when we talk about the pedagogical, So you can see the goal analysis, audience, content, medium, design approach, methods and strategies are there to give something to your young learners. When we talk about technological, so then instructional infrastructure and hardware, software, it all comes in the category. Our ICT, our internet, it all comes in technological framework. Our apps, our applications, all comes in this category. When we talk about interface design, we know very well there are two major interfaces in the world: command line interface and graphical user interface. Whatever we look on the screen, it's all illusion created by microprocessor. So page and site design, content design, navigation, accessibility, usability, testing, whatever we looking on screen, it should be in a designed or in a better manner, so that it should be in a presentable format that everyone accept and able to read, study, and basically try to engage himself to learn something new. Then we talk about evaluation, assessment of learner, evaluation of instruction and learning environment, management. It's clear to you that it provides the basically support to you. Resource support, online support, instructional counseling support, technical, career counseling, offline, online resources. Mean everything is available in blog, in your Google Drive, in your OneDrive, and you are able to share, care, and in this way you can do something. So ethical are very important thing. Again, social political influence, cultural diversity. So cultural diversity again, it's very important. If you see, the Indian culture is totally different if we compare with Arabs and Muslims as well. Bias attitude. So if we talk about the African biasness or American or the other one nation, so they have something in their minds. So different civilization having different things in their mind. Geographical diversity, we know very well that every regional having some their own basically identification, their languages, their culture, their customs. So it all basically having some importance. So etiquettes, digital divide, it's in front of you, legal issues, privacy, plagiarism, copyright. So these are all the ethicals that if someone have done something and created some idea, so without his permission, you cannot use basically. Ethically, it should not be, but problem is this, that the world is very big and many humans are living here. So there are some people who basically mingle the content, and in this way they try to basically use the idea, philosophy, or the product as well. Due to which reason nowadays copyright, privacy, and plagiarism rules have been set for to basically to manage these ethical issues as well. So portion A online, you are looking a person is basically working on laptop, and in this way he is taking and learning something. You are looking at whatever the screen has been showing. It's all illusion created by microprocessor, but again the outcome and the basically you can say the learning outcome it's rational, so that the person is gaining something. Portion B, we see in the classroom portion, new material was presented and opportunities were provided for the student to apply and practice knowledge and skill they had learned in the online portion. So teacher is delivering lecture. So first one is synchronous and the other one portion A is asynchronous. So this is the main thing. So can anyone tell me which one is synchronous and which one is asynchronous? Kindly please attendees reply me. Any attendee who want to reply?
Please.
Okay.
Yes. Can you repeat your question, please?
I'm saying this thing, just identify which one is synchronous and which was is asynchronous. Portion A or
Yes.
portion B.
Yes. So he wants you to answer this question. Which one, portion A and portion B, which one is synchronous and non-synchronous? Please raise your hand, open your mic, and answer this question. Any
Okay,
answer?
I'm continuing. Time is almost going to up. So blended e-learning, people, process, and product. These are the main things. That processes are there, product is there, and people are there. So these are three, you can say, main things. Three P's are here: people, process, and product. And we receive rational outcome while working on different things. So blended e-learning or blended learning, it totally focus on new things or with variety of learning strategies, tools, and the framework if you follow. So in this way, you basically learn different things, but your rational outcome is totally knowledge. So if we have a data, so if we work on it, so obviously it become information for us. And if we work more on it, on information and process something on the information, then obviously it will become your knowledge. So this is the difference between informative people or information or a layman, but on the other hand, the knowledgeable person who basically considered as the expert of the specific thing. Who, how, and what. The entire process of e-learning content brings together a group of people with different competencies. They engage in various activities to develop learning products. So this is the main thing, that e-learning, synchronous, blended learning, it's all blended learning. It's the mixture of all things. Whatever you do to complete your task, to get something, to refine yourself, to refine your concept, to refine your knowledge as well. You keep your self study, or if you do any synchronous or asynchronous study or learning, so it all means that it gives you something, some, it provides you some confidence, motivation, knowledge, power. So it all basically due to your blended learning if you use different variation to different tools and things. So this one is e-learning P3 model. You are looking here, people, teams, planning, design, evaluation. And if we see the teams, productions, instructional support, and admin, marketing, or something like process, obviously content design, content development and delivery. This is the most important thing. And when we talk about the product, so it's a blueprint, develop, learning material or develop. So it's just like this thing that people are basically keep themselves busy, and in this way they having a rational content, and after that they are able to produce some outcome. So you are looking this one, that whatever the thing is phase one and phase two. So phase one, it means you are content, you are getting something, and after that you are able to make a rough plan of that thing, and you have a rough sketch. And after that, you basically in phase two, your content development is able to present, and in this way you can do something better, and you will make it a final refinement of your product. So as you people are looking, this one is again same picture as we have discussed earlier, but this one is a little bit rational and you can say pictorial representation of that thing, that people, process, and product. So planning, design, production, evaluation, and again you have to work on it. So then you are able to deliver the final outcome as a final learning material. So roles and responsibility, if we talk about, so e-learning tools having different things, you can even assess them. So this one is the simple thing you are looking here, that e-learning stages, role, name, planning, design, production, evaluation, delivery, instruction, and marketing. And after that, you can appoint them skill level, that where the person stands on it. So this is just like a score sheet of any individual, that what the outcome, and after assessing, you can define some basically score, that where the person stands. So this one is the complete summarize graphical facilitators focus on three key areas: development of digital and active learning course content, and guiding the learning experience, and customizing material and appropriate assessment. So this one is the facilitation by the facilitators. And these are the main things that facilitator provide to the learners. And after mixing all these things, the blended learning components are these: in-person classroom activities, bite-sized chunks of information, structured independent study time. The amount of blood can vary from session to
Yes,
approaches,
doctor.
and each human approach vary from person to person as well. So this is the main thing. These are the references. Through that, I basically try to complete my presentation. And after that, this one is conclusion is in front of you, that blended learning lets students progress at their own pace. Students can refer to course concepts and material as needed and can advance when they feel ready. An LMS learning management system make it easy for students to look back on earlier material and to move through coursework at their own pace. Some researchers stated that blended learning can enhance student learning outcomes, improve students' motivation, and it is an effective way of achieving learning objective. So blended learning also spends lower cost for training and it may enhance the student learning experience as well. So this one is a rational way, rational framework. Through that, you can basically make your young learners smarter than earlier. You can enhance their potential. You can give them the best material, best insight through practicing by doing, by following this blended learning strategy and method as well. So after this, I'm going to conclude my presentation. Thank you very much. So I welcome questions. So if anyone want to ask now, you may ask, please.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Faisal. It was very informative, very helpful, and useful. Thank you very much for this important issue because the blended learning is a very useful topic nowadays, especially in the coronavirus period. So now we welcome any questions for Dr. Faisal. Yes, thank you. If there is any question, you can raise your hand and ask. Let's begin with Miss Haneen Saleh. Please, the floor is yours now. You can raise your question.
Hello. Evening.
Hello, hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you.
Welcome.
How are you, Dr. Faisal?
Me fine.
Okay, thank God. I was inquiring myself if I understand that the university, open university, is depending on blended learning, as I understand.
Sorry, I'm unable to understand your question. Kindly repeat it.
If
Yes,
I
can you
understand,
repeat it?
if I understand correct, is the or are the open universities depending on blended learning?
Open
Okay.
universities in a global world, you mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So nowadays, basically all the universities in the world they follow this approach, blended learning, while engaging students different activities, while giving them assignments, presentation, quizzes, and some tests, formal tests and informal tests. In this way, they basically engage their students. Okay. So when you provide project work as well, even teacher assign in the universities to their young learners. Reason is this: when they basically collaborate to each other and they are able, they sit together and they discuss how they can overcome and complete their task or project. So in this way, they learn more as compared to only studying the content or something. Reason computer science, information technology, and some sciences subjects, they all basically having some you can say practical sciences, theories, or philosophies. So when you do practically by your hand, then the students are able to learn something. In theory, in study, obviously we humans having short-term memory. So whatever we study, we cannot basically remember that thing for whole life. So there is a need to understand this thing that creativity and your design and one more thing learning, it all basically depend on this thing that in which way you basically follow the path. So learning totally depends on in this thing that in which way you engage your students. If you teach them, so they may be remember, but if you tell them, so they cannot save in their memory or they are not able to store that thing, whatever the word you are saying, whatever the content you have provided. But on the other hand, if you engage them in different activities, just like blended learning and give them some assignment or task, so in this way they can basically keep and they have something in their memory that how this task can be completed.
Thank you, Ms. Haneen. Thank you, Dr. Faisal. Is there any other question? Yes, if there is any question, please open your
Ma'am
mic
Haneen,
and
thank you very
ask.
much. I hope that I have cleared your basically question.
Yes, it seems that it is very clear. So before you leave, I want to congratulate Dr. Faisal Fayyaz. I am Shawkiya Hawaura, the president of the Arab English Teachers Association, AETA. We are so honored to award this certificate of appreciation to Professor Faisal Fayyaz from Pakistan in recognition of his outstanding contributions and delivering this lecture, which was titled The Importance of Blended Learning. Thank you very much. Congratulations on the success of this presentation and hope that you join us more and more. Thank you very much. And our attendees, thank you for participation and wait us in weekly sessions. Wait us next week with another guest speaker whose name is Mr. Imran, inshallah, about IELTS skills. He will talk. So wait us, join us in our links. Thank you and congratulations. Yes. I think Mr. Al Hassan Al Rab says in the chat box, I think we faced to this challenge by we faced this challenge by making lessons based on blended learning. On the other side, it is not easy to provide the new technology in different countries of the world. He means that there were some challenges when we were using blended learning during COVID-19. As you know, there are some challenges like, for example, the weakness of the internet access, for example, the shortage of devices. Not all families could provide their children, each one a device, and many other challenges. So he comments by this. Let's see
So
another
I also want
comment.
to answer this question, ma'am, please. I also want to
Yes.
answer this question. So if the technological resources are not available, so you may use synchronous online format while presenting something on projector. So in this way, you can do something. If you do not have internet, so you have basically a single PC through CD-ROM, through other things, you can deliver your lecture and make your graphical things for the betterness of your young learners. So again, we have flexibility. We can use advanced technology tools as well as we can use the common things as well. But there is a need of variation for the betterment of our young learners. Reason humans always require change. So if you provide them change, then obviously they never ever become bored and they always try to focus the new things.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Awatif asks you, would you, the presenter, share with us this precious presentation, please? Yes, she wants the presentation, Doctor.
Okay, I will
Could you
provide
share
them,
it?
ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
inshallah.
inshallah. I
Thank
will.
you. Thank you very much. Let's see another one. Yes. Please, for the form of certification, please fill the details correctly and you can immediately receive it via the email that you wrote inside the form, okay? And also there is a feedback for Professor Faisal Fayyaz, so you can begin writing if you didn't. Thank you. They thank you very much for this interesting presentation and information. Excellent webinar. Yes, thank you very much. You can read the comments by yourself. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Professor Faisal Fayyaz. We hope to meet you another time in a very distinguished presentation as usual. And also thank you all attendees and participants from all over the world and hope you the best. Join us next week with another guest speaker about IELTS. See you and good night. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Assalamu
Jam.
alaikum wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much to all the attendees that they basically try to focus on this lecture and try to learn something. I'm really grateful to you.
Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
are
Take
so
care. Allah Hafiz.
grateful for you. The form, Mr. Ahmed, I sent the form many times inside the chat box.